Hola everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Little Diaguito. Today we're going to take a look at this guy. This is the Takara Tomy Diaclone Reboot Shadow Dasher. So Diaclone is a product line that launched by Takara in 1980, and it would go on to become the Transformers. In 2015, Takara Tomy went ahead and relaunched the franchise under the title Diaclone Reboot, and it's been going strong since. So let's take a closer look at this guy. Okay, and here are all the parts that come in the box. In addition to all of these parts, we've got this big booklet, which has a really cool picture of him on the front there. Inside of it, it's got that same picture. We've got an image of him and the various things we can do with him. So he turns into a lot of different stuff. Today we're going to go into the main buggy. And then here we have some pictures of some of the other figures in the line, and he can combine with them and trade parts with them. And so we'll be looking over some of those as I get them. He also comes with an instruction booklet that has the same picture there on the front, and it has a list of all our parts. It shows us how the Dia works, and shows us how to turn him into a robot. And it will have some of his other forms as well. So it's a pretty good sized book for a figure that on the surface doesn't look like it's super complicated. And the last thing it comes with is this little sticker sheet, just clear stickers with white numbers on them. I haven't put any of them on him. I didn't really need to. I like him without them. So let's look at some of the stuff that comes in the box. He's got 2 of these swords, like little katanas. Let me hold them this way so you can get a look at some of the detailing on those. He's got 2 of these pieces. They look like they're bits of guns. And we've got 2 of these guys. Two of these, which we will be using as gun barrels. Two of these little rocket things, and 4 of these little clamps. And the neat thing about these clamps is they can also be sheaths for the katanas. And then you just plug this little tab into his body, and then he has these sheathed. So that's pretty neat. We've got our little Dia. He's a really neat little guy, pretty detailed for how tiny he is. I think I've typically compared him to a... Oh, sorry, he's bending all over. Typically compared him to a AA battery. You can see he's about half the size of the battery there. So he's pretty tiny. And like all of the Dia, he's got little magnets on his feet so that you can attach him to the various bits of your robots where you can put the little magnetic stickers that come with them. He's also super articulated. He's got knee bends and waist bends. He's got a little ab crunch there that he's so tiny my fingers are probably too big for you to see. He's got a good ab crunch there. He's got elbows, shoulders, and that's it. Nothing on the head. And then we've got the main pieces of our robot. We've got the legs, the lower body here, for the legs. You can see the rolling treads for his buggy mode there. The chest piece has a little slot for the control bullet. There's his arms with their little rolling treads as well. I like the red in here, it looks really nice on this color scheme. Alright, and the shoulders, and this back piece moves, so we can rotate it if we need to for various transformation bits. And lastly, we've got the control bullet, which has his head on it. Just rotates back so that you can't hide his head when he's in his buggy mode. We've got the cockpit here, which even has a little safety harness for our Diaclone, so he's basically wearing his seatbelt when he's piloting this. So let's start by getting him all set up in there. I'm gonna just straighten out his legs forward, his arms a little bit forward too, and we'll see there's a inside of there. It's hard to grab it on camera, but there's a cavity under there. It's where his legs can fit in. Now that we have him in there, you can probably see a little better. You can see that his knees, from his knees down, are all underneath this piece. So that's pretty cool. And then we pull his safety harness down. You have to do that first before you pull down this big piece because it won't close right otherwise. And then we can just close him up in there. And in his buggy mode, he'll be in there, and in robot mode, which we're going to assemble now, he will still be right under the headpiece. Something about this headpiece, this head mold is really, really nice. This is one of the reasons this is my favorite of my Diaclone robots. He is really cool looking, I think. But he also has, you can't see it so well there unless I do that. He's also got some light piping. So he's got the little transparent orange piece there that filters the light down through his eyes, so if you get good lighting it looks like they're glowing. That's pretty cool. Alright, so get him there. We'll just slide the bullet in there. You'll see right in here, it's black so it's hard to see. There's a little groove there that will fit this little bit here, so we're just going to put him right like that, and then just snap it down. And there we go. And on the wheels, we can open that up, and that's where his hands hide, right inside of there. So let's fold those out. Close it back up. Same thing on the other side. And they move, so you got to line them up right, or the hand won't pop out. There we go, and we've got his arms all set. And then we just take it, and this port will just plug straight into that hole. Easy enough. He's a cool looking guy, I think. So there's a lot of things that we can plug onto him. Let's start with assembling a couple of guns for him. So we'll take these pieces, and we'll take one of these little rocket looking things, and you can just plug that into the back there, like that. And then we'll take one of these gun barrels and plug it into the front there. And there we go. We made him a little rifle. And I'm going to go ahead and build 2 of those. And there we go. We have 2 rifles for him. So if we take him and we turn him around here on his back, we can get these things and plug them in to these little ports here, which they're going to fight me a bit on. The ports are really they're pretty tight, so these things are going to stand there snugly, and you can rotate this as much as you want. I'm going to make it put it up like that. Let's get the other one that up. So now I'm going to take that rifle. Oh, you know what? I forgot something. We're not going to plug the rifle in. We're going to plug one of these guys in. There we go. And one on each side. There we go. And then we will plug the rifles into those. There we go, and the rifles will be able to pivot on that too. This piece will bend. You can hear it make a nice clicking sound. And we can have him have some over-the-shoulder guns there. And then we can give him his swords. Now for the last two of these little clamp things, they don't really do anything in this mode, but I like to put them up here on his shoulders because it's just a nice bit of storage. And you can also have those as like shoulder sword things. You can mount the swords on them there if you want, if you do want him to hold them. But there he is in his robot form. Alright, so now about transforming him. We'll start by taking all of his weaponry away. Okay, and then first off, we're going to open up this tire to fold his hand back in. Make sure I got his hand rotated correctly, because or else it won't fit. There we go. And we can do that on both sides. There we go. Now, on each arm, we're going to pop it apart like that. And then we're going to rotate it to the side. And this whole bit will go back, and you can see that there is a little tab here that plugs into that tab there on the shoulder. There we go. And then we're going to bring this in like that and rotate it forward. And we'll do the same thing on the other arm. We will pop that piece and rotate this so that we can tab it in right there. Bring that around and rotate it forward. So we should look like that. Now we're going to take this bullet piece and we're going to pull the whole thing forward. It slides, it's on a slider, so it pulls forward. And then we can take his head piece here and we can rotate it, or flip it back, and it should go nicely back in there. Now we've got this. These guys are going to come up here, and I like to leave them alone like that for a little while. We're going to take this back piece and flip it up, and then we can take this whole guy. He's on a, you can't see it right now, but he's on a thing there where we can bring it so he's flat, and you can see the bit right here that we rotated. Alright, for the legs, we're going to take the feet and we're going to turn them inwards. And then we're going to split the legs right in the middle there. They just fold down. Alright, now with the feet, we're going to swing them all the way up back so that they're flush like that. On both sides. They should snap in nicely there. So now we should look like that. Bring the legs up the rest of the way on that pivot there. And now we can flip these back down, and you'll see that the front shin here plugs into that little spot snugly. And now we're going to rotate the thigh out this way so that we are like that. And then we're going to take the whole, this piece, and rotate it inwards. And there's a couple of places where it's going to connect here. You can see on the shoulder there's a little slot there. There's a little tab right on the, it's hard to see there, there's a little tab right on the back of the foot. So those can go in, and then there's also a little slot right there, if you can see it, and a tab right here that should go into that. So everything on these guys is really tight and snug, so it's sometimes a little difficult. So then we're just going to take this piece and fold that down like that. And lastly, we're going to go to the front here, and you'll see that these tires have these little plugs, these little ports here, and there's some little holes right there. We're just going to plug each of them there. There we go. And we've got him in his buggy mode. So we can also take these that we took off of him earlier, and what we want to do this time is straighten out, there we go, straighten out that bit, and we're going to rotate that down, and we can plug that into the same spots that we had them on in his robot mode. There's not really a whole lot of great spots to put on his swords on here. You can mount them on off of his feet there, like that. Also backwards, like not gonna be a good way for you to see, like that. Or you can put them on his shoulders here. Let's rotate that around so that it's laid down. Or you can put them on his shoulders there, like that. And he's got a couple of other modes. This is already becoming a very long video, so instead of transforming him into those modes on camera, I'll go ahead and just do that off camera, and you will see him on the turntable in those various modes. So there we go. And there we are. I really like these guys. They're super articulated. I love that you can rearrange their parts in so many ways, especially the bigger ones can transform into a bunch of different things. They're all in all really cool toys. They are kind of expensive, and you're going to have to get them imported because they're typically not available here in the US. There are some online web stores you can get them from. I take a look at Big Bad Toy Store if you're looking for one based in the US. Otherwise, Robot Kingdom is where I usually get mine. Thanks for watching. I'm Little Dieguito, and I'll see you next time.